Welcome everyone, it's Michelle McLean here with another health coaching skills tutorial. So today we are going to talk all about offering giveaways as part of your health coaching program. So if you are a health coach who attended a health coach training that suggested you give giveaways as part of your health coach training, then absolutely this tutorial is for you. You may be wondering if that's something you should do, if other coaches do it, if it offers value. If you're wondering all of those questions, I am going to answer them all here today. And also, you might be someone who did not do a health coach training that recommended giving giveaways. This isn't something that's standard in all health coach training programs. So if you're not familiar with giveaways, you will be familiar with them after this tutorial, and you'll probably have some insight into if that's something you want to offer as part of your coaching program or not. So I will say that one of the health coach training programs that I did suggested that we use giveaways. And so as a good doobie, a good student, I always do what I'm told. So when I started my health coaching practice, it was absolutely something that I used in those first couple of years. So before I get into that and my personal experience with it, I just want to give you a sense of, what are giveaways? What am I talking about here? Especially for those of you who aren't familiar with offering giveaways. So the training that I did suggested that as part of your coaching, each session you might offer a giveaway. It was usually aligned with the topic of the session. It could just be a small gift. There were no hard and fast rules around this one. It wasn't that you had to do this. It was really more of a suggestion. If it felt right for you, if you felt like you wanted to do it, great. There were some ideas for giveaways. So some of the suggestions were things like, if in that session, maybe you were talking about greens and helping your client add more greens into their diet, you might offer a sample of kale, for example. Or if you were talking about grains and healthy grains to have in the diet, maybe you offer a little packet of quinoa. So there were also self-care items. So things like soothing teas or bubble baths or candles, things like that you might want to offer. If you were talking about getting more water in the diet, maybe you would offer a water bottle. So as you can see, these were all sort of suggestions for giveaways that aligned with the topic of the session. They recommended there would be topics for every session in your coaching program, and that there might be a giveaway if you decided you wanted to give them. So that just gives you a sense of what type of giveaways that I'm talking about. So little items, low-cost items, they were really recommending that could support the coaching process and the topics that you were discussing. So, like I said, I want to jump into my own personal experience here. And as I said, I'm a good doobie, a good student. They suggested giveaways. I was like, cool, great idea. I had no idea about health coaching at this point. I was starting out. I had never done this before. So thought it would be kind of a fun thing to add into my coaching. I thought it provided value. Thought maybe it was different than, what people were getting, from some of the other health professionals that they might be dealing with. So I did. I started off doing this. So I want to talk a little bit about my experience, and what started happening with me. So the obvious thing here with giveaways is that it works much better if you're actually coaching in person. And when I started my coaching practice 9-10 years ago now, I was actually coaching in person. I was using my husband's osteopathic clinic when he wasn't there, using his office. So mostly evenings and Fridays he didn't work. So I booked all my clients during those times. And so I was meeting with my clients in person. So it made it much easier for me to actually provide and give these giveaways each week, right? So that's kind of a downside of the giveaways. Definitely works better if you're coaching in person. So I think in sort of on paper, it sounded like a great idea, right? It sounded like fun. It sounded like I would provide value. It just was, a neat addition to the coaching. And so those were the reasons that I really wanted to try it in the first place. So what I would do for each client, not only was I giving those giveaways, but during our first session, I had a binder prepared for each client that had 12 dividers, one for each of our coaching sessions, where they could insert and file all the handouts and resources that I was going to provide each week. So I had the binder. I also gave each new client a journal, so a journal that they could take notes, do their journaling, contemplating, reflecting, all of that good stuff in a journal. So these giveaways, each week were on top of all of that. Plus, each week I would come to the sessions, or every 2 weeks at that time, I would come to the session with color printouts of all the handouts and resources and recipes and things that I was giving that were provided by this health coach training program. So that was what I presented my client during the first session. So like I said, each session then I'd come with a gift. So some of the ones that I remember giving were definitely heads of kale. When we talked about greens, I would purchase a fresh, bunch of kale and bring it to the client, and I'd give a recipe, they'd go home and try it out. I definitely did some self-care items like bubble baths and candles. And I remember bulk ordering tongue scrapers, and I would give each client a tongue scraper to try tongue scraping. What other notes here? Yeah, I did like coffee alternatives. I did samples of teas, books, that someone was interested in a particular health and wellness or a health topic. I would buy books. So I even remember one client at the end of our coaching program, at the end of the 6 months, she really wanted to try yoga. And I actually showed up at her house with a brand new yoga mat as a sort of final parting gift. So as you can see, or hear, that this sort of started to become a little bit of a hassle over time. So it was a lot of like bulk purchasing, portioning things out, and showing up each week with these gifts. And what I found was happening was that the client loved it. Each week, they'd come thinking, oh, what's going to be my gift this week? It was like their birthday every week, and I had a little gift for them. And so I found that it really became all about the gift or the giveaway. So that's sort of what happened over time. Of course, the other thing that started to happening was it was just a lot of work. It was a lot of money. And over time, like within those first couple of years, I moved to virtual coaching. So I wasn't going into the office anymore. I was doing all of my coaching from home. So then I would have to package up all of these materials and gifts and binders and handouts and package them up per each session, and then mail those packages out to clients. So I just remember one night sitting in my home office surrounded by all these binders and gifts and mailing envelopes, and thinking to myself, I don't think this is going to work much longer. It was just becoming a bit too much for me. So, just checking my notes here to see if there's anything else. Yeah, it just became a little bit too much. I couldn't keep it up. So I think what you can see from my own personal experience that I'm not a huge fan of giveaways. I tried it for a couple of years and just learned over time that it wasn't going to be something that was going to be practical and doable and manageable, as I was doing online coaching, because it was just too much to have to mail all those packages and buy all those gifts and all of that. So I just wanted to highlight for you sort of some of the downsides of offering giveaways as part of your coaching practices. So number one, it's expensive, right? It's expensive to just buy all those gifts, even if you're bulk ordering them and getting them at a cheaper cost. It's very time consuming to have to actually go and do all that shopping and ordering and then package stuff up, especially if you are doing online virtual coaching. The other thing for me, it was just really, really impractical, right? Again, especially when it shifted to online. If you're doing in person, it's not as impractical. But I think the other thing, like the deeper things for me over time, were really that I felt like it almost misrepresented what health coaching really is all about. It sort of felt like it trivialized or materialized the coaching a bit, again, with my client, always just wanting to see what their gift was and, oh, what's my cool giveaway this time, right? Versus, the deeper behavioral change that I became to know over time to be the more effective and valuable coaching. I also feel that it sort of fed my ego's need to provide value. So I know for a lot of new health coaches, having, these kind of gimmicky things, these, the bells and whistles for your coaching program can feel like you're providing more value. And I know 100% that's what it did for me. I felt like I'm giving my clients all of this stuff. There's a lot of value here. But I really didn't know the value of true coaching at the time. I wasn't confident in my coaching skills. I did not know coaching competencies. I did not know how to coach around behavioral change. So I really relied on all of that as sort of the foundation of my coaching program. So it really, came from a lack of self-confidence to kind of fill in the coaching with all of this kind of giveaways and gimmicks and things like that. So bottom line here, what to do instead, right? So if you're wondering, okay, well, if I don't give all those giveaways, if I don't have all this stuff to give my client, what am I going to do? How am I going to provide value? And really, my suggestion or advice to you is if you're feeling, that that's out of alignment with your values and what you believe coaching to be, and you're questioning it, then really, it is about becoming a better health coach, right? It's about understanding what real coaching is all about and how you can provide value from your skills and your competencies as a health coach versus all the stuff. There are probably some of you out there who feel it's great and love it, and that's wonderful. You should continue to do that as part of your coaching practice. But again, if you're starting to question it, feeling like it's a little bit icky, or feeling like it's, serving this self-confidence piece, or this lack of self-confidence in yourself as a coach, then maybe you just want to question it a little bit. So some of the things that, I did to move beyond that, and it was really because I then went on to do other health and wellness coach training. So I learned what real health and wellness coaching was. I got certifications and I really studied behavioral change. So that's what I did. I boosted my confidence by getting good at my coaching skills, my active listening skills, asking high mileage questions, becoming present. I learned more about the behavioral change process. So how do I really guide clients through dietary and lifestyle change, right? That became the essence of my coaching. So studying a lot of that, learning things like motivational interviewing to bring into my coaching practice, learning all about visioning work with my clients, getting good at supporting them through the goal setting process, being able to provide effective accountability, so that they could reach their goals. So all of that is really what I dove into what I suggest to new coaches. That's the stuff you want to get good at, right? That's what you want to be an expert in, because that is the essence of true health coaching. So those are my tips for you. I hope that this has been helpful to just shed some light on this idea of giveaways in your health coaching practice. For me, again, I did try it. There were definitely some downsides, and I just shifted gears along the way. So I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions at all, please post those in the comments below. And just before we wrap up, I just wanted to say that, this is really one of the reasons why I'm now here doing this work, mentoring health coaches, and really helping you understand what real coaching is and how to do it. Because I noticed a lot of gaps, in various health coach trainings, people coming out and not really understanding how to truly coach. And I really want to fill in that gap for you. So if you're interested in learning more about this, I do have my Health Coaching Essentials self-study course available at the moment, which really walks you through an entire coaching process, framework. It gives you all the skills, the tools, the resources, the things to give away to your clients that are really valuable in helping move them through a behavioral change process. So if you're interested in that, I will post a link to the page where you can learn more about that program. And maybe, in 2022, this is your year to really dive deep into what health coaching is really all about, to up-level your coaching skills and boost your confidence so you can bring real, true value to your clients, because they need us more than ever right now. So again, hope this has been helpful. Any comments, post them. Any questions, post them in the comments. And I will see you next time. Have a great day, everyone. Take good care. Bye.